Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into the Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I and Jake. Listen, man, we ain't here to talk about it. Talk about the wide world of sports. What you having this morning? What you drinking on? Coffee, smoothie, protein shake, whatever, some donuts. What you doing this morning, man? So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. And just to let you know, this episode is brought to you by BetUS. Listen, 100, it's that time of year where football season's starting and it's time to go put those bets in. If you are a betting person, we're not here to tell you how to bet. We're just here to help you get out a little discount or extra betting money, I should say. So BetUS 125% bonus plus a 10% gamblers insurance. The link is in the description of the video on YouTube. And also, if it gives you a place to put in a code, you can put in code TFA for the fanatic. So let's do that, and just to help you out, yeah. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got some people in the building already. Chicken in the building. Chicken says horns down in the morning, always for chicken. Waffle House, pork chops and eggs. That's what I'm talking about, chicken. I can't eat pork. I like it, but I can't eat it. Tear my stomach up. But hey, if I could, pork chop and eggs sounds good. Janet in the building. What's going on, Janet? We appreciate you getting in this morning. I like that, man. Janet tapping in on both channels. Shelby, First Lady, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? Shelby says the women's volleyball semifinal is on. Is that indoor or beach? I normally watch beach volleyball, but I don't watch the indoor. Stink ass cat in the building says, what's Coach I and Jake? What's up? What's going on, stink ass? Appreciate you getting in here. Way offsides, Jeff is in the building. That was way offsides, Cotton. If you haven't seen, man, that always, of course, reminds me of Dodgeball, the movie. So we appreciate you getting in. Let's see, Bishop Frank's in the building. Bishop Frank's one of the members of the month. We appreciate you getting in here. Garrett, my guy Garrett, one of our channel members as well. Garrett, I don't know if you've seen, man. Hey, man, check out the Discord. Go to the community tab on YouTube, man, and check out that link for the Discord. Since you're a member, you get to get in the Discord with us. Antoine Curitan, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you getting in here. Bishop Franks is having a Western omelet. Okay. Travelpreneur Sports Podcast is in the building. What's going on, my man? Moon Rocker in the building. Say rise and tide family. Okay, we appreciate all y'all getting in. My guy B Sheezy in the house. Can't find the link. If you on your phone, B, right there where you type in the comment, it should be like a little like $ right there. That's probably the link you're looking for. If not, I can show it to you. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, man, and bring our guy Jake on up in the building, man. Jake from Set the Tone College Football. What's going on, Jake?
What's up, Coach I? Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on?
Hey, man, another day. Blessed to see another day. Glad to be here to talk sports with you, my guy.
Oh, man, me too, dude. I love it. And I see everybody kind of jumping in from the different channels too, which is super cool, man. Like that's one of my favorite things is everybody's kind of joining up. And this, we were talking the other day saying like, man, we really enjoy doing this morning thing. It's a lot of fun. So, and yeah, man, there's always fun topics to talk about. So, man, I'm tell you what, I'm always happy to jump on here. That's for sure.
That's right, man. That's right. You're right. We do have some good topics to talk about. Of course, y'all know it's still the Olympics. We talked about swimming on Tuesday because they took center stage over the weekend, but now track and field is front and center. USA basketball, we'll talk about some of that. Talk a little bit about NFL preseason, which is going on tonight. It started last Thursday. We'll
Hmm.
talk about that. And then, of course, we'll talk about some college football, man. So we appreciate everybody getting in, whether you're on the Fanatic Facebook page. If you're out there, hit a thumbs up. Put a thumbs up on in the comments. Let us know you're out there. Also, getting in on the Fanatic Facebook, YouTube, and the Set the Tone YouTube as well. Make sure you're subscribing to both channels and share it with somebody. If you like the content, if you don't like the content, share it anyway so you can show how much you don't like the
Yeah,
content.
for
So,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Shelby with the bagel and cherry coke this morning. Getting it started early with the cherry coke, ain't you first lady? Okay. Listen,
I love it.
right, right. Jake got on all black. I got on all white. We like
Right.
the movie Brown Sugar, Hip Hop
Mm,
Dalmatian. You know what I'm saying?
I like
On
it.
the bandstand, Goo Goo Guy Pan, from the best Chinese restaurant in the land. What?
Yes.
That's like some of the funniest stuff
Dude, it's
ever in the movie,
hilarious,
though.
man. Hilarious. Like I tell you what, like I man, I love it. We didn't even like coordinate this. This just
Right,
happened. That's perfect.
right,
Yeah, it's
right,
kind of
right.
funny.
I know, right?
It's hilarious. I like it. Oh man.
Oh man, Net Bowls barbecue beef ribs for breakfast, Bishop.
Whoa.
Woo! You gotta
Whew.
get up and get moving after that, man. You got to
Yeah,
you got to digest that food.
man.
Mars
Woo.
Jam is in the building. What's going on, Mars Jam? Hey man, college football is 1 week closer, man. God, bruh. Hey, listen, we wait. It seemed like so long, Jake, that we wait around for college football, and then it's here and it's gone in the blink of an eye. So we better appreciate it. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
100%. Well, now with that video game out, right? Like you can sit
Ooh,
there and you're constantly locked in. You know what I
right,
mean? Like that's how it used to be. You think back like when that game was going on. I remember playing that game so I mean, dude, I played that game so much when I was a young kid and teenager and whatnot. And man, that's like, you know, between that and freaking Halo back in the day.
right.
It just was you're locked in. But now you're right. Like it's interesting because the game's back, so it helps a little bit, but we just still can't wait, especially now the playoffs too, man.
Right.
That's a big deal now. Like you got 12-team playoff. Oh man, it makes it even more exciting.
That's right, man. That's right, man. We're gonna get into all of that, man. We're gonna open up with some Olympics, man. The Paris Olympics, man. Listen, man. A lot of stuff went on between just Tuesday and today. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if what events you all watch. I think I told you, Jake. I'm a track and field, especially the
Mhm.
sprints. I mean, I checked out some javelin yesterday as well, but
Yes.
especially the sprint events. I'm a women's beach volleyball, swimming and basketball and a little bit of tennis. But over in the track and field, man, Quincy Hall's dramatic 400-meter win for gold, bro. That was
Whoa.
crazy. So like he comes off the turn, the last turn, he's in fourth place coming
Hmm.
off the turn,
Yeah.
and I mean he's lost all running form.
Oh yeah. It's gone. Dude, I mean, it was like, it's fine. I used to run the 400, right? And so
Yeah,
that race is super. That is a killer, right? Like not a lot of people, especially when you're going like all out, right? It's a full track sprint. And when you come around, you come around the bend, like that first 200, especially if you're a sprinter, you feel pretty good, but you can tell that what lactic acid starting to build up real quickly in your muscles,
right.
and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like now it's time to dig deep, especially when you're running. And I tell you, man, it's so brutal. But to watch his form,
Bruh,
that was just all pure
that was pure will.
grit.
He
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
He just wanted it more than everybody else, and
that's right.
finally he like came back and passed the leader right before the tape, man. So shout out to Quincy Hall, University of South Carolina,
Mm,
nonetheless, out here showing out. Way outside, Jeff says you don't know anything about Bill Walsh college football and Sega. Hey,
dude.
Jeff, I'll raise you one and go Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo. How about
Whoa.
that? How about that?
Whoa, I
That's
like
how
it, man.
that's how I was growing up. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
there you go. There you go.
Tecmo
Like
Bowl, bro. Like
little
if you play
blocks
with right, listen, Tecmo Bowl. If you played with the 49ers and ran the slant with Jerry Rice, you couldn't be stopped.
win all
Or
day.
if you threw the halfback pass to Bo Jackson and he hits the sideline, it's a wrap.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well, that was like, remember that game? What was it? Where was it something Blitz? Remember what I'm talking about?
NFL Blitz. It was NFL Blitz.
Like where they just like smash each other and they're like superhumans and the ball's flying and dinging all of. Dude, I thought that game was legit, man. I used to love that game.
Right, that was kind of like the football version of God, what's the ones called NBA Jams where
Oh yes. Oh
you can jump
yes.
like out of the screen and then come
NBA
down
Jam.
and then you're on
Yes.
fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Ben G gets
Love
in the
that game.
building. What's up, my guy Ben G? He said, "T, you still got Tecmo Bowl? Does your Nintendo still work, Ben G?" Oh my goodness, Garrett says Tecmo Bowl. That's right. Super
Dude,
Tecmo
love
Bowl
that
in my
game.
playroom. Oh, he you don't have the original. You got the original Nintendo, or you got the one that takes the because they came back out with the Nintendo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And then but it's all like in the cloud. You don't have to have it
Mm,
online. So
yep.
Tyson's Punch Out, right? Tyson's Punch
Yes.
Out. Somebody brought that up when Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson's fight with old boy Jake Paul got
Mm,
rescheduled, but somebody brought that up. So
yeah.
hey man, got us out here reminiscing. I only play NFL Blitz in the arcade. That's
Dude, that's hey, still, man. In the arcade was a little harder, but the
right.
one on like the actual video game, like you go out there and you kind of figure it out. Especially
Chicken
you play
says
like
his
Denver
does.
Broncos.
Wow. We got some Nintendo people out here still rocking the Nintendo.
Legit cool,
How
man.
about that, dog? How about that? All right,
Crazy.
man. Hey, man, I love it. I love it. Other news in Olympics: Gabby Thomas smashes everybody in the 200 meters. Jake, it wasn't even.
Destroyed.
Listen, man. I was watching it and she absolutely ate the curve up. I was like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
even, bruh. It's not even challenge. If you can't beat Gabby coming out of the curve, you might as well hang it up. And then she just ran away from everybody, man. Gabby did her thing.
Well, and the thing is about the curve too is it's all about that slingshot too. The lanes are so important. Like people, if you didn't run the 200 side, I was a sprinter, right? In
Mm-hmm.
high school and whatnot. And if you didn't run it and you coming around like that, especially in the 200, you really make sure that slingshot gets you into that lane. I mean, I was a middle lane guy. Give me like 7, 6, or 5, and I
Right.
was good. I did not want the outside, and I hated the inside.
The
And a
inside, I
lot of it's a
think.
mental game.
Yeah, I think inside is hardest. It's the
Yeah,
tightest turn. It's the
it is.
tightest curve. Yeah.
You just don't get the same momentum coming around the corner if with the way your body, they tell you to kind of get that lean, right? So she does it. I'll tell you this, Gabby, amazing, right?
Right.
Absolutely amazing. Number one, she's stunning as well. She's one beautiful woman. But on top of that, you watch her run, man.
She
Holy
ain't hard on the
smokes!
eyes. She ain't
Nah,
hard on the
nah.
eyes either. You
Wow.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Whoa. But no, man, I tell you, you see her run, it's just like a lot of the US runners just are so dumb. Like Sydney's coming up here soon, McLaughlin.
Hmm.
Holy smokes. The
Yeah.
hurdler.
400
Oh my
hurdler. Now, when
God.
she ran her qualifying, that her fast, like I think I might have said this, her fastest time is on the 400 hurdles is better than half of the 400-meter finalists' best time. And that's crazy, dog. Without the hurdles, I mean, with the hurdles, she could pretty much keep up with him without, what I'm saying, running a regular 400 meters. Five Adam in the building.
What's going
I got
on?
Lance B is in the building. Hey man, we appreciate everybody getting in. We're just talking a little Olympics right now. We're gonna jump into some NFL preseason and then talk some college football. Other news in the Olympics. Tuesday, KD became the was it Tuesday or yesterday? It was Tuesday. He became the all-time leading scorer in USA basketball Olympic history, passing Cheryl Swoops, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to KD, man. KD's a
Wow.
walking bucket, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's just when he shoot the ball, I always expect it to go in. Always.
100. Like, I mean, he's so good.
Right.
So it's kind of wild too when you look at that and you look at that team and just, I mean, they are just dominating. And they're making some fun plays too to watch, and I think there's a lot of team spirit, which is
Right.
fun to see.
Right. And if I was thinking the other day just watching it, man, like I don't care who you think the GOAT is or whatever, where you got LeBron ranked, but if you're a basketball fan enthusiast and you're not enjoying watching LeBron play basketball at 39 years old, still doing it, I'm talking about whether he's finishing, creating plays for everybody else, like I'm just watching like, man, I've been watching in amazement, to be honest with you. I'm like, this dude is still like the guy on the court and
Hmm.
doing it at this age, man. And even with all the stars, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, like Steph hasn't even had a Steph Curry type game yet, and it's almost like Steph just out there having fun too. Like Steph, like, look, man, I ain't got to shoot at all. Like
No.
I'll just be out here and be a decoy for y'all.
Dude, seriously. Yeah, that's kind of the funny part, right? Is like these guys, you almost sit you, makes you think, right? Like, do they sit back and think about the way they're playing this and how dominant they are? And does it make them kind of consider kind of almost different roles, right? Like, wait a minute, what if we did this on my actual team, right? We played with this sort
Right.
of poise, with maybe
Mm-hmm.
this sort of teamwork. What would we look like? Someday, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about, like for some of these guys, but it is fun to watch. That's for sure.
Right. Ben, that's right, Ben. Appreciate the correction. It's Lisa Leslie he passed in the KD passed in the points. Moon Rocker said I'd like to see what Gabby could do with this curve. Uh Come on, Moon Rocker.
Dude,
Look at you.
man,
Oh my
it's
god.
morning time, guys. Come on, we need to
Right.
start the morning right?
Moon Rocker is
No,
out
I
there
love Moon, man.
already. Ben G says he had no idea Gabby Thomas is a part of his job. UT Health and Science.
Hmm.
He said they got a company email congratulating her. How about that, man?
That's cool,
Sydney lapped me twice the way she would lap me twice the way she runs to hurdles. Man,
dude.
listen, I was saying, even though you watch some of the people lose these races, like let's take the women's 100 meters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The lady that lost the race or came in last, she
Hmm.
ran like a 12.78, right?
Which is still a phenomenal time,
Bruh,
for women. Yeah,
I'd be good for like the first three steps, and then she'd be like waiting on me. Like, what's taking you so long to finish the race?
dude. I mean, it's wild, right? Wild. Like, for some of these girls too. I mean, you even look at those times. Like, I mean, I look back and I think my fastest time was like a 10.79, and you're like, God, these guys, these people fly. Right?
Right.
They just are flying. I mean, that 400 meter, considering like what they did at World Champions, no, there's like one dude under 44,
Mm-hmm.
and like you had multiple guys under 44. Like, I mean, shoot, he ran like a 43, was it 43.59 or 43?
That's what I'm
Can't
saying. That's
remember.
better than
Five
think about
two.
that. Some of that is better than you. They like that one person would be the high school, like some high school, boys 4x1. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right?
4x1. That's wild.
That's wild. That's wild, man.
Dude, that's
So
so
just
fast.
hey, even when Noah Lyles won the 100, I think we
Hmm.
mentioned everybody in the final ran under 10 seconds. It's never been done before. So that's how
Crazy.
fast these guys are going. While they're not Usain Bolt fast, the
Yeah.
actual group of them are fast, like the fastest group in history. So let me get a quick divorce to see if Gabby likes 43.
God, gee, oh my
Hey, y'all,
God.
listen, man. Gabby got the comments going crazy this
Yeah.
morning.
Whoa.
Gabby,
Whoa.
if you catch a clip of this, the comments are going crazy for you, not just for your accomplishments on the track, but off the track as
Yes.
well.
Good for
Walt
you.
Albright in the building. What's going on, Walt? Appreciate everybody getting in again, man. Y'all know we like to say that, man, whether you're on the Fan Addict Facebook, Fan Addict YouTube, or Set the Tone College Football. If you're on one and you're not subscribed to the other, flip flop, subscribe to both because we talk good college football. And the morning show is me and Jake, man. We like to talk all around sports, man.
Yeah.
We got a couple more things on the Olympics. Then we'll move on. Shout out to Djokovic, man, in tennis.
Yeah.
He won the gold,
Mhm.
completing the career. super gold slam or career gold slam or something like that in tennis, meaning he won all 4 majors and an Olympics. There's only like 4 other people to ever do that: Andre Agassi, Serena Williams, and God, I forgot the other person, but he's won the French Open, the US Open, the Australian Open, Wimbledon, all 4 Grand Slams, and the Olympic gold, bro. That's crazy. Like all these great. Oh, Rafael Nadal, he did it too. So
Oh yeah, Nadal. Yep, that makes sense.
right, because that's like his major rival, right? So
Yes,
but like
yes.
shout out to Djokovic. I think Djokovic is easily in the talks for best tennis player ever. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh
think you
yeah.
can, what I'm saying, you can put it. That's right, Shelby. Shelby say Moonrocker keep it clean. Shelby is a moderator. She's gonna put you in timeout.
I love it. I love it, man. Good
I love it.
times.
But like, yeah, man, 5 hours of tennis, man. If you ever like you watch the top players, so this is what I would say. Watch the top players in tennis. Like you have to go back. You won't get to see it again because Nadal has retired after this Olympics, and I think Djokovic might be heading that way. But if you go back and find a match between like Nadal and Djokovic, or like Serena and her sister, like find the old ones between Serena and
Yeah,
Venus, man, listen.
good
Like
ones.
right. So but hey, man, I get it. Everybody likes their own thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm not a big like I say, I watch some field events and track.
Yeah.
I don't watch the discus, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, man. Yeah. I'm like that's tough, right? Some of those are really hard. Now, I will say, I kind of got into watching the pole vaulting, which was interesting,
Right. Did you
because there
see
was a
so
nice little battle back and forth.
right, and that's hard. That you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's legit.
That's hard.
Don't
Because you
typically
gotta
watch it.
first of all you gotta run this. I'm pretty sure people don't realize how heavy the pole is.
Yeah.
And then you run and it's the look, you gotta get it right there in the angle of the ground, and then you
Hmm.
project yourself up over this thing. Now there was a couple people that didn't even make it up to the bar. So
Yeah.
you know
Pretty
what I'm
wild.
saying? Nadal, last of the old guard.
Hmm.
Nadal, I would put Djokovic is probably a year or two behind, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nadal's the last of the old guard. I don't know who the up and comers in tennis after, if Djokovic decides to hang it up.
Gosh, what's his name? The dude he talks a lot.
Oh,
You know who I'm
see, I
talking
don't.
about?
Yeah, he's from Europe.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he's British. He
I
man,
have
he
to.
like
I probably know it. I probably know his face though.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's probably the next guy. Well, at least we think so. Who knows? He kind of goes up and down, but we'll
Right,
see.
right. Pole vaulter went up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Went up
Hmm.
halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, except he's a LSU guy, but it's all good.
Hey, football rivalries carry over into the Olympics too,
That's
people.
right.
Just
That's
just in
right.
case you didn't know. And then to finish off the Olympics this morning, I know some people didn't get up and see it. The 4x1 got started in the first round. USA women's made it. They ran a decently clean race. Second to third exchange, second leg to third leg to Gabby. Wasn't very clean. Gabby had to slow down so she wouldn't get it outside the exchange zone. But then she blazed the curve as usual. Gave
Mhm.
it to Shikari in third place, and Shikari won by at least 6-7 meters. So Shikari showed out. Great Britain ran a clean race for the women's. They got in. Jamaica,
Mhm.
I think the women's barely made it for Jamaica for the finals. Now the men, Jamaica didn't make it. I don't know. I'm hoping. I know. Spoiler alert, people, if you haven't seen it, but Jamaica men's doesn't make the finals in the 4x1. They had a terrible. Like I think if they went back and looked at it frame by frame, second to third pass, they were outside the exchange zone, but they didn't,
Dude,
bruh. And then the third leg was terrible. Like he
really?
was terrible, bro. And so they end
Mm.
up coming in. I want to say they came in fourth place, maybe fifth place, something like that. Yeah, it was bad. China won their heat,
Oh,
and
okay.
Canada was in the lead,
Uh,
third to fourth exchange. The exchange, that's what I tell people. You can't just run fast. You know what I'm saying?
no.
you gotta, when you're doing a 4x1, the exchanges have to be clean. Like if you're
Have to
gonna
be
break a
clean.
world record, first of all, you're gonna win or compete.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those exchanges have to be clean,
Yep.
and they can't take place at the end of the exchange zone if you want to like have a world record or something.
No, you got to get them in really. Honestly, you need to get them in within like the first or second time your hand goes back. Or sorry,
Right,
the second to third time your hand goes back. So it
right.
has to be beginning to the mid. I used to, yeah, I would trust me. Track was a big thing for me, man. I ran
I'm
a lot of
telling you.
track.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
right, right. Let's see. U.S. men's track. Yeah, they're running right now. I think if you were watching it on like YouTube TV or network TV, it plays a little bit, in delay. I watch it on the Peacock app, so you have to like
Yeah.
it comes on like real time. So it came
Mm.
on at 4. I wasn't up at 4, but I watched it right before we came on. So
Yeah.
shout out to all the Olympians, man, regardless of what you did, whether just to make the Olympics means you're one of the best in your country, whether you had to pull out or anything like that, man. So shout
Hmm.
out to all the Olympians, man. So
Oh yeah.
but now, Jake, NFL preseason, my guy.
Yeah.
Football is back for those that
Football,
watch
football, football.
NFL and college. Tonight, we got the Lions versus the Giants and the Panthers
Hmm.
versus the Patriots. Comment, people in the comments. If you are an NFL watcher, who is your team? I already know, my girl Shelby, First Lady. She is a Atlanta Falcon.
Okay.
I cheer for the Falcons. I don't like to say it, but I do. I
Hmm.
cheer for the
Hmm.
Falcons. They the what I would consider the home team. I know my boy B Shaw. He's a Falcons fan, but he grew up a Cowboys fan though. So
Oh, got you. Okay.
right. Five Adams says my Eagles are playing tomorrow. Fly high Eagles. Listen, I like the Eagles. The Eagles like the Georgia Dogs, so I
Yes, they
like the
do.
Eagles.
My God, they have to. Majority of their draft picks come from Georgia, or at least the
Right,
last
right,
2 years on defense.
right.
Yeah, wild man, wild.
Mars Jam says Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. Janet is a Eagle.
Hmm.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I like
Mm.
it. I like it. Now, I think for me, it's crazy because growing up in Seattle, right? Like Seahawks were an interesting thing, and they've been exciting to watch. But for me, man, you know, gosh, I really look down at it, and I've always loved Tampa Bay. I've always
Mm.
been a Buccaneers
Okay.
since I was, I loved watching them back in the day. Ebony, what's going on? What's
What's
going
going
on,
on,
man,
Ebony? What's
Ebony?
going on?
Hey,
Appreciate you getting in.
Noah looked good the other day. I watched him slapping some pads around, doing some bend drills. He's looking fast. Man, he's looking
Mm.
fast. Her son plays. He's a freshman right now for Alabama. So,
Yeah,
uh,
they love. They do. They
edge.
got a lot of Bama people in the Eagles too.
Yep. Hmm.
Moon Rocker says Falcons NFC, Titans AFC. Interesting. What if they play Moon Rocker? Who you
Yeah.
rooting for? If
Mm.
if the Falcons should ever, make it again, I don't know. But if they ever play, who you rooting for? The Falcons or the Titans? Marge Yam says Buffalo fan since '87. Man, you've been
Mm.
through some tough times, my guy.
Yeah, dude.
Been through some tough times, my guy.
Seriously.
Like right there with Jim Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
right there. How you feel about losing Diggs, Mars? You know what I'm saying? Diggs got traded or asked to be traded or something like that.
Hmm.
Chicken says the Bucks. He's a Bucks fan too. How about that?
Dude,
Tampa Bay.
the Tampa man, that's a Tampa too, baby. Like I loved Tampa Bay's defense back in the day with like Derek Brooks, Warren
Mm-hmm.
Sapp, John Lynch. I mean, you had and then John Gruden as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the time for me where I'm like, oh yeah, give me that Tampa man. I'm all about that. I'm all about the Bucks. Let's go. But you know who I
Oh,
like
okay.
right now is Dan
Uh-huh.
Campbell with the Lions.
With the Lions, I like Dan Campbell. You know who I like? Like I say, I watch players more so.
Mm,
I like what I've seen out of the Raiders' new coach. I forget what his name is. The young guy. He's kind of like a player's coach. I'm interested to see if it works out for him. You know what I'm saying?
oh, I know who you're talking about. He played.
Yeah, right, right,
Yeah,
right. I
God,
can't.
who are we? Who is this guy?
Hey,
Why are we
who's the
missing his
Raiders
name?
coach? And somebody in the comments, let us know who the Raiders coach is. I want to say last year was his first year. You know what I'm saying? And he's like I say, he's for the player. Again, his name is slipping me. I grew up a 49ers fan. Steve Young, Jerry Rice,
I mean, I like them too.
John Taylor, Roger
Yeah,
Craig, Dwight Clark,
yeah,
T.O., Jeff Garcia. And the reason why I stopped being two reasons. Over here on the East Coast, they wasn't showing once the 49ers, reign was kind of over. They stopped really showing them on TV a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to root for a team you can't watch. Plus, once they let Jeff Garcia go, I felt like he was the last connection,
yep,
really, to
yep.
that old reign. And I'm like, yeah, they changed ownership, and I like it
Mm-hmm.
just, hey, it just didn't do it for me anymore. Chicken says used to watch Steve Young at the old Sombrero when he was a Buccaneer. That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Falcons, because I'm in the ATL. That's right, Moon Rocker. Okay, Moon Rocker, I see you
I get
in
you.
the A town. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Garrett Bulwell's at 100%. Jake Bowles' son is in the actors. That's right. Troy Bowles, I mean, the son of Coach Bowles from the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Benji got it. Antonio Pierce.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
Raiders coach.
Mm-hmm.
That guy has a lot of energy. Again, he's like a player's coach. I'm interested to see, like I say, shout out to Antonio Pierce for drafting Brock Bowers, the best tight end in college football last year. We'll see what he does in the NFL. Chicken, Rip Money Kiffin, one of the best defensive minds to ever coach in the NFL. Benji says got show calls at ASU.
Dude.
That's
Yeah.
right. Raiders got Zeus too. Got Zamir White. Got Zeus too. Right. Oh, 5 Adams says he hates the Raiders, 49ers, and you hate all of them.
All three of
Jesus,
them? Dang.
God, what they do to? Oh, because they beat up on the Bills. 5 Adam. Is
For,
that it?
for so long. I don't know. But I will tell you though, the team to watch, I think this year is gonna be Houston Texans.
Well, C.J. Stroud. I mean, he's amazing,
Bro.
right?
Well,
Right.
in gosh, forgive me, I'm blanking on the names this morning for coaches, but and he's an Alabama guy too. But he's
D'Amico
just
Ryans.
yes,
D'Amico Ryan.
thank you. Yes, Demi, he is killing it as a coach. You want to talk about? He was a really smart player in general. A lot of people talked about him and his football IQ, but I think you see him as a coach, and you're just like, dude, you got the right mind. Like everyone gave him such a hard time for that draft, right, of
Yeah.
2023, of sitting
Mm-hmm.
there and going, okay, we trade up and we do these things. Perfect because it's inspired. Like he brought in the right guys in that locker room. I mean,
Right.
this guy, he's a smart coach. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch for a minute.
Right. They upgraded on defense. They got a guy, Kamari Lassiter, out of
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, and D'Amico is very high on Kamari. Kamari's first interview in minicamp, they was like, how do you feel? Like, how does those conversations between you and the coach since he played at Bama? Kamari goes, he played at Bama? I didn't know that. He's like, right.
He's
He was
like,
like,
what?
I ain't know,
What?
I ain't know that. You know what I'm saying?
He's like,
Nice
oh,
little,
no wonder.
right, a little friendly rivalry. But D'Amico is very high on Kamari, and
Mm-hmm.
Kamari, I think, is going to fit in well. Like you said, I feel like he's made some good draft picks over the last 2 years. Shout out to Nevio, man, our other member of the month, man, getting in with the super chat. Says good
Emilio,
morning, Coach I. And Jake, what's going on, Nelio? Nelio, who's your NFL team, Nelio? We know K-State is the college team. Who's your NFL team? Uh, Janet says, hoping they got a good team built around Bryce this year. Hey, man, these guys, like these quarterbacks coming out, man, they need help. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They
man.
need help.
Yeah. Well, in Panthers, man, Carolina, like they've had been on a struggle bus.
Right,
Even with Bryce there, I mean, one guy doesn't change the dynamic of the team. You need kind of that guy on offense who can set you up, right? But you need in the end of the day, it comes down to 5 Adam, you just said it. It comes down to what you have in the trenches, people.
right.
Like the offense and defensive line, can't stress enough how important that is, you know.
Right. Because of like 5M, like you said, he said the O line, Bryce needs it. And BG says Bryce isn't playing any preseason. I'm gonna be honest, with that O line, I wouldn't let him play any preseason games, bro.
Nah, man.
So Nino
Dangerous.
said he's located 15 minutes from Arrowhead, so it's
Oh,
the
dude.
Chiefs, of
It's cool.
course. All
Yeah.
right,
I like
I like
Chiefs.
that.
I like
Right. Matt Farms, we appreciate you getting in this morning, man. He said Dolphins number 1, Lions number 2. Wow, it's been a long time, bro. It's been a long
Wow.
time since either one of those teams was good. But now the Lions under Matt Campbell do seem like they're moving in the right direction for
Yes, they
sure.
do. Mhm.
So shout out to them. The Dolphins got, 2 of the fastest receivers, in football, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So
Hmm.
both of your teams, although a long time coming, they're seeming to be moving in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Lions and the Dolphins. Winning NFL is having a great GM. Great GMs got to know how to make moves, man. They got to know how
Yeah.
to make moves, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? We paying Kirk Cousins an obscene amount of money and then drafting a Michael Penix in the top 10. I don't know what's going on with that dog.
Yeah. I think they're going to end up getting rid of. I think Cousins will be there, and then I think they're going to bounce him. The contract's just way too big, and there's no.
Right.
I don't. If I'm correct, it's not a guarantee, so
Right.
they can easily like just kind of trade him off or bounce him. You know.
Right. They're gonna have to do something. I just
Hmm.
like if you pay Kirk a quarterback, not just Kirk, because if you pay a veteran quarterback that kind of money, the guy you bring in needs to be a third or fourth round guy because you bring in a first round, draft pick. He commands more money. Even though
Hmm.
I like Michael Penix, I'm a
I do
Michael
too.
Penix
I
fan. I
love
don't
Penix.
mind the guy himself. I mind the pick itself. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So I'm like these guys. Listen, man. Atlanta sports. I don't know how serious we are about winning championships outside of the Braves. So right, 100 million guarantee in my right. That's it's bananas, dog, bananas. So that's and I've never been a Kirk Cousins fan either. So that might have something to do with it. Apparently, based on
Hmm.
the contract, can easily be moved after. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that's good. That's good to know because, like I said, I personally I know BG says he doesn't like
Well,
Penix.
we all know why. That's 2 years without a bowl ring and one without a national championship because of
Well,
Penix.
yeah,
But it's all
right,
good though.
right. But I think he's a good thrower of the ball, but he's going to need an offensive line in the run game as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the run game's there for Atlanta though.
Right. I
You
like
know,
Bijan. I like
yes.
Bijan.
Well, I mean, and
Yeah.
he's not the only one they got. So, but then you're right. I think. Well, I think a lot of people are expecting Atlanta to go defensively because that's where they need a lot of help. Right, is defensively. So
Right, bro. There's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
defensive guys out there, man. So I don't know. Says he's out for the season, but it's not that bad. Apparently, PCL tears and ACL. Oh, and Bishop Frank is talking about CJ Baxter. Speaking of CJ
Mm,
Baxter, let's move into college
let's
football.
do it.
We're talking top QBs in college football, Jake. Give me
Yes.
your just no order. Give me five. It doesn't even have to be the top five. Just give me five QBs that are you think are towards the top of college football.
Ooh, this man. This is one of the hardest questions I think out there. Like 100%. Obviously, I know I do feel this way, and I truly am like passionate about it with Jalen Milroe. I think we see him take that step for this season. I mean,
Okay.
I really, really do. I feel like that development, having the coaches, having the belief behind him. I mean, I think that is a huge going to just be. I think it's game changing for a quarterback. I do. I think you can go with Carson Beck. And this is not like a ranking necessarily right now. I'm just giving
Right,
like
right,
top five.
right.
Um, I would put Quinn Ewers. A lot of people, the other morning on Tuesday, that would definitely
Mm-hmm.
piss Jason off if you were in here,
Mm-hmm.
Jason.
Our guy Jason from Hall of Fame College Football. Go subscribe to the channel, man. Get you some good
Oh
OU
man,
content.
yeah, good times, man. I appreciate that 100%. Love Jason and his
Janet,
passion.
right. Janet says Milrow.
Yep. I would say huge years back. From there, man, I see where you're at, Ben. I almost go the same way. I'd go with Dylan Gabriel. I like Dylan Gabriel, and then the
Right.
fifth one it would be the toss up for me because I don't know if I'd go with Jackson Dart. I like Shador a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do think he's a very good quarterback. And then, yeah, I'd probably go with Shador, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Just a quick NFL says who will be the starting QB in New England day one. Sister asks, out of camp currently. I don't know if he's gonna start, but out of camp currently, uh, Milton from Tennessee has been out. Joe Milton has been out playing
Whoa.
Brissett and whoever the The other guy is apparently
Well, Jacoby
um,
Brissett's his time is kind of almost come and gone.
right. So you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Lance B says Milrow, Beck, Milrow, Evers, Dart, Gabriel. Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan played when I was in school. Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Corey
I
Dillon.
say yeah. No. Gabriel has been around for a long time.
Yes, he has, man. Yes, he has. That's that
So
rhyming.
right, what's going on? What's going on? Ryman is in here. Ryman's in here. Where you
Yeah,
at,
lemon.
Ryman? There he is. There he
Lemon.
is. Good morning. What's going on, my guy Ryman? We appreciate you getting in. Benji says only reason why I didn't include Sanders is because I don't see CU as being a good team. The other QBs will be that's right. They will be playing high stakes games,
Yeah.
but individually, I definitely think Shadur is up there. So I looked it up. Just wanted to see what some of the pundits believe, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN put out a tier
Yes.
ranking of the quarterbacks. So
Okay.
they're tier one, cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm.
So not they got 9 guys. They got Milrow. They got Carson Beck. They got so they did tier one QB rooms. I think they were
Okay.
doing. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? So they
did he QB rooms?
I think because that's what it is. So they got Alabama. They got
Yeah.
Milrow and Ty Simpson.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then they got Georgia with Carson Beck, Jaden Rashada, Gunnar Stockton.
Yep.
They
That
got
makes sense.
Oregon with Dylan Gabriel
Yep.
and
Dante
Dante
Moore.
Moore. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what I'm seeing is a pattern of the starter should be considered top 10, and then their backup is pretty, a lot is expected of that guy
Yeah.
as well. Texas with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, of course. And then just some raw stats for some people. Milrow led the country in QB scrambles. He had 26 for first downs. So there's
Mm-hmm.
26 times. Listen, not I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure 5 of those was against the Dogs because they were
Yeah.
key. That's what actually I think hurt us in the SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 of those led to touchdowns. So he led the nation in that stat. No QB had a higher percentage of dropbacks versus zone last season than Miro, and he had 70% completion rate against the zone. So Beck versus ranked teams, of course, ranked when they came into the game. So when they came into the game ranked, he had 92 QB total QBR, which is
Yeah.
crazy. 74% completion rate, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a little bit over 10 yards per attempt. So Beck in when the lights was the brightest, you know what I'm saying? Beck
Mm-hmm.
was on game. Quinn Ewers from Texas. Anytime they trailed last year, the
Yeah.
dude was 72.7% completion rate, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 10.3 yards per attempt. That's crazy. And 15% of those throws went for over 20 yards. And that was when they were trailing anybody, Jake. So like
Wow.
right, anybody, anytime, all year, that's what he was. So he was almost at his best when they were trailing.
Which is wild, man, considering, I think, okay, with Texas, that's been kind of the big question mark was like, was Quinn just not able, like, did he fold under pressure? Well, obviously, with stats like that, it's kind of saying that it was the opposite, right? Like, he
Right.
didn't seem like he actually folded under pressure. It's more so, maybe it was the game plan or whatnot when they were ahead or when they were in better
I think
positions.
I mean if you look at all the top QBs, honestly, I could just like I say for all the top teams, there's questions for all the top teams, questions for
Mhm.
every team. Every quarterback has bad games. Like Carson Beck didn't
Oh
play his
yeah,
best. Carson Beck for sure didn't play his best against Alabama. Carson Beck didn't have a great game. I want to say it was early in the season. Might have been the Auburn game up until the fourth. People remember the fourth quarter, second half, but I think leading up to it, it was just kind of like mediocre. I would say, but that was the offense altogether. Ryman, we're talking about top QBs in all of college football, not just the SEC though. Let's see. Bo Nix, of course, leaving. They talk about Gabriel coming in and kind of picking up that mantle, right behind him. And then they talk about tier two. This is the tier two gets interesting.
okay,
Tier two with asterisks, of course, because tier two doesn't have the backup clout that tier one has.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what separates tier 1 from tier 2. Tier 2 is Arizona's Noah Fafita.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that.
Hmm.
Colorado, Shadura, and again, because these two guys don't have backups that you're like, oh my God, this guy could start any day now. You know what I'm saying? Kansas is Jalen Daniels, Miami's Cam Ward, and then Utah. Utah has Cam Rising and Sam Heward. Sam Heward, son of Brock Heward, they're
Yep.
expecting a lot of him. So, what you
Hmm.
think about those five? Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Miami, and even Utah coming in with Brock Heward and Cam Rising.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I would expect Utah to definitely be there regarding Cam Rising coming back again, super senior, but he was injured too. So um Utah should look a lot better with Cam as long as he's still in the right mental state, right? And still
Right.
has that leadership poise and that skill level he's been continuing just to put in the work. Cam Ward makes a ton of sense. Miami, it doesn't matter where he's going to be at, he's going to
Right.
perform. I mean, we saw the numbers he put up at WSU up in the middle of no man's land.
No bad. Right.
I
With
mean,
not a lot of
Pullman,
weapons. With
yeah,
not a lot of
Pullman's.
weapons.
I get people do not realize. Like I've seen so many articles talking about recruiting, and DeBoer did such a terrible job. It's like, dude, to recruit to Washington is hard, and especially WSU is even harder because you're
Right.
literally in the middle of cornfields in the corner of the state, like no man's land. Um, and then I think from there, Arizona, spot on. No Fafita is legit. Like
Right.
Noah Fafita is the real deal, and to see what they got out of him, I don't think anyone. I mean, I didn't watch Arizona enough before Fafita
Yeah.
comes in
Right.
to know what. Obviously, I forgot the other guy's name. He was not bad.
Right.
Just very much a scrambler and erratic decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
But Fafita comes in, man, and Fafita. I mean, we saw Arizona turn into a whole new team when he stepped on the field.
For real. For
I
real.
get the dude's the real deal.
I think
Uh,
he's gonna have a really good year. I know they, lost Jedfish, but
yeah,
I think they'll be pretty good. They brought one of their receivers, his top receiver back. So
McMillan.
right, I think they'll be pretty good. Ryman says Gabriel 1, Beck 2, Miro 3. I can get with that. I can definitely get with that, especially what you're expecting Gabriel to kind of step in for Bo Nix in that Oregon offense.
Mm,
I could see the production for sure, Gabriel. I mean, like I say, I think you can put him in. You can make an argument for all of these guys. Five Adams says Miro got experience. He will improve. He got better as the
oh,
year went on last year. You know what I'm saying? So,
100. I
you
watched
know,
his film from fall camp. He
so
looks. I'll tell you right now, from what I've seen, Coach I with Milrow and what I'm watching, the way he's throwing the ball in fall camp, just like
mm-hmm,
simply just and you can see a lot in a guy, just the way he puts the ball, the way
mm-hmm,
his confidence really in his motion, and the way he's just like follow through everything. He looks he looks polished, and I'm watching him throw these underneath routes where everyone said he can't throw the underneath or the medium routes. Dude, he's putting that ball in the money zone, and the money zone is
right,
here to
to,
here to your
right, right.
sternum, right?
What?
Boom, right in there. He looks really good. Uh,
Okay.
I I feel amazing about him, and I agree with Beck too. Like Beck is Carson's
He's
Carson's a great
prototypical.
leader.
He's the prototypical 6'4.5",
Hmm.
220, 225, whatever, stand in the pocket,
Yep.
pick you apart. He not gonna wow you with his legs, but if you're playing man to man, he'll do just enough to pick up the first down. We've seen that.
Yeah.
So Mike G says Quinn is sometimes inconsistent. That's correct. I'll tell you this. If you look at the stats for Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers, they're a lot similar.
Hmm.
Both of those guys need to get more accurate on their deep ball. Carson Beck more so the deep ball post.
Yeah.
Something about the posts and his timing with some of the receivers is off. Now he throws deep ball outside the hashes very accurately for some
Hmm.
reason, but the post he needs to. And Quinn's deep ball numbers aren't as great as a top tier quarterback should be either. So I would say that for both of those guys. Benji said he'll be fine because talking about Howard. How will Howard transfer from Kansas State, transfer to Ohio State? He's saying
Hmm.
he'll be fine because OSU is stacked, right? Real test would be Oregon in the Big Ten championship game for real, for real, for real. So, Benji, Texas fan, says Quinn still needs to improve more consistently with the medium and deep windows. Right, right. but he's only improved each year as a starter. People act like you're right. He's only like this will be his third year, really with the reins, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what he can do. Let's see who else is getting here. Benji says Gabriel in that Oregon offense is a nice pairing. I think so. I
Mm-hmm.
think so for real. So Nilio says I'd be interested on how well Ryzen takes shots to his body in the pocket. One thing I want to say about Ryzen is compared to all these other quarterbacks, Jake, he's
Mm-hmm.
not the passer that they are. You know what I'm saying?
No, no.
But what he is a good decision maker. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He
Mm-hmm.
gets him in the right plays, he makes the good decision, and he's mobile, so he can get the first down when they need to. He just makes the right decision, and he's a great leader. He kind of reminds me of Connor Shaw from South
Yes.
Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Connor
Yes.
Shaw, like in South Carolina's history, isn't even the best passer. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Yep.
say he's probably like, 4, 5, 6 or something. But he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't know if there's a quarterback better because he's just a guy. Like he's a football player's football player. He knows how to lead the guys to victory. So that's
Yes.
kind of what Cam Rising brings. Like, and their confidence shoots way up with Cam Rising. But that will be interesting, Nidio, to see what his injury situation is. I mean, he's 100% now,
Mm-hmm.
but he did miss a whole year. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, no wonder why Coach on Hall of Fame keeps talking bad about Ohio State, keeps saying they're overrated. But I think it's because of Howard. I think some people don't believe in Howard. I'm a wait and see with Howard guy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I want to wait and see because it could change too. Now, listen, Kansas State had a great running game and they were decent in passing, but they ain't got their weapons on the outside as far as receivers aren't like not many teams in the nation have the type of weapons that Ohio State has, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to receivers. So I'm interested to see what Howard looks like with those kind of weapons. So Chip Kelly, new Chip Kelly offense, he's gonna run the quarterback some. Will Howard can, he can move a little bit.
Yep.
So it's
Well,
going
Chip Kelly runs out like that RPO really. I mean, with this with
mm-hmm.
this spread concept really
Come
well,
on,
and
right. We saw what he did at Oregon, right?
yeah, and I mean, it will benefit Howard, but also I think that one of the weirdest things is like when Howard was put into that decision making pressure last season, at least with bigger games, that was where he kind of struggled a bit, right?
Right,
And
right.
so I think he's a good quarterback. It's just going to be really interesting to see how he fits what Ohio State's plan is. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because he's just kind of unique in the
Well, I
sense of
think
how he plays the game.
right, and I think the question for Ohio State is, I know that we all respect Chip Kelly as a play caller,
Mhm.
but he is new to Ohio State, and now you got a new quarterback, and the old line was definitely a question, and then they got a new center, the center that Alabama fans is glad is
Yeah.
not in Tuscaloosa anymore. And one of my biggest things I always say, you have to keep an eye on when you change your center, your quarterback, and your OC all in the same year.
Yeah.
Because with that said, the center calls out the protections for the old line, gets them lined up, so they have to have be in sync, and then the quarterback has to also help the center, and then of course the OC and the quarterback have to be in sync, and trying to get all of that in sync. Again, your schedule can help out with that, but I'm interested if there was a knock on in Ohio State, that's what I would say. O line, you know, especially replacing the center with somebody who, in the big games anyway, showed that
Mhm.
he's kind of suspect with the long snap, and
Yep.
then having a new quarterback and OC. So now Brad Crawford from 247 CBS Sports, whatever, he
Mhm.
came out with a list. I sent you the list. This is
Yep.
his list. This is his top 10. Shadur is number one. This is just again based on individual play, not based on how many games they may or may not win. Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Caden Salter at Liberty, Noah Fafita, and Drew Aller. Now I think as far as name recognition, the only person, if you don't really follow football, that people would be like, who is he? Is Caden Salter at Liberty. But Caden Salter is really good.
Oh, completely. That is definitely the name no one's gonna recognize on there, but that's because it's Liberty. But I don't know if I would. It's interesting, Coach, because you look and you see some of the names. Like, are we missing anybody
in the
off of that
top 10.
list. Yeah, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like it. I think it's actually a pretty good top 10.
Right.
Caden Salter's a unique one. That must be based off of numbers and his what he put up last season.
Probably.
Um,
And
but
their
I
coaches had good history with quarterbacks. The NC State
100%.
quarterback now, Grayson McCall, was playing
Yeah.
for Coastal Carolina under their coach, and now Coastal Carolina's coach is in his second year at Liberty.
Hmm.
So, and we saw what Liberty did last year. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's true fact. I mean, and he's yeah, legit. So that's probably. But then you think of like guys like Jalen Daniels. You think of guys. Brady Cook's going to be talked about a lot for that one.
Right. Right.
Shoot, I mean, Riley Leonard you can almost consider too, but Riley's going to have to be an interesting one because we need to see what he does at Notre Dame and not just because he got hurt right at Duke, and before he got hurt, like he looked really good. Same with Daniels, but at Kansas. But yeah, you kind of need Daniels comes back to something familiar, whereas in Leonard goes to something new.
Right.
So I think it's a little different there. But I don't
Some
think it's a bad top 10 though.
Right. So some of the names you listed are in his 11 through 20. Jalen Daniels is 11. Will Howard is actually 12.
Yeah,
How
got you.
about
Okay.
that? I think he probably is a little higher on some people on Will Howard than other people are.
Yep.
But again, time will tell. He probably has probably one of the best rooms at wide
Yep.
receiver to go to
100%. I mean, it's great.
in the nation. Riley Leonard at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Garrett Green at West Virginia. I think he's going to have a better year. Again,
Garrett
he's one of
Green.
those, you know what I'm saying? I think he's one of the more underrated guys. Didn't have the statistical season that you look for in like a top 20 quarterback, but I think he has promise. Brady Cook comes in at 15, and I think Brady Cook could probably be higher.
I do too. I almost feel like he would be more likely to round out a top 10 than Caden. But again,
Right.
that we're talking about, it's hard when you look at these rankings because you're like, okay, you're looking at last year's maybe numbers a little bit. You can almost feel like that doesn't necessarily tell you what the guy's going to look like the next year. It does, it doesn't. It's more so like as a quarterback, who do I see being like that guy this year, just based on their skill set?
Right.
And so that's how come it's hard when you say Brady Cook, and especially when you have a wide receiver, you're like, ooh, they'd be a good one for top 10, but
Right,
say,
right. Benji says Quinn is hitting less than 35%. Yeah, it was like 34.47 or something like that. That's what I was talking about earlier. Carson's deep ball percentage is like 37, so it's not much higher. It's crazy that both of those guys are elite quarterbacks and they, still need to, but that just goes to show no matter how elite you are, you still need to improve somewhere in your game,
mm-hmm.
And this is the thing. If both of those guys make like a 5% improvement, it's going to be trouble for all the secondary that they play against because they had such great seasons last year and they had low, percentage hitting on the deep route. So Shawty says, Jake, which quarterback has the most upside for this year or will have the best season? So I want to attack that twofold.
Yeah.
Best season in terms of statistics, and then best season in terms of team success, leading to team success. So I'm gonna let you jump on that one first. Who do you think statistically will have the best season,
That's
or
just,
potentially?
yes, statistically, I will I'll give you three. This will
Okay.
be an interesting one.
All right.
So I think in not necessarily order, but I think you go Dylan Gabriel, right?
I'm with it.
100, Dylan
I'm with
Gabriel.
it.
I think the next part of that is I think Carson Beck. I
I'm
mean,
with
I
it.
really honestly do. Like, I think Carson, a lot of people are like, well, hey, he lost what he had productivity wise with McConkey, right, and Bowers. But I, you would know, Coach I too, on this, and that's something I'm digging into this week because I'm going to definitely do a video regarding
Right.
Georgia. Just a lot of interesting pieces about Georgia. But I'll tell you is like I think that they're very similar in the sense of just like LSU, as you know, they tend to reload really,
Right.
really well, right? So I think Beck's numbers last year, I mean, shoot, he's close to breaking 4,000 yards. So
Yeah, I want to say it was like 39, 47 or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's real close. I think statistically he should be really, really good. And then
Okay.
honestly, my number 3 is Jalen Milrow. Like
All
what would
right.
he, and not necessarily again that order. I think Jalen Milrow could put up crazy, like Jaden Daniels type numbers. Maybe not as high in the pass game, just because
Right.
they do have a strong running back room. I mean, their
But
running back
total,
room stud.
but total yards.
I think total yards though, I think you're talking some wild numbers. I mean, this KD offense is a 40 plus points per game. Like
Right.
that is going to be the average of this offense. And
Okay.
it's something from that standpoint where you might see some games, right, that similar to what you saw last year with Washington, where they have to face some adversity. They find some defenses. I think the Georgia game could be one of those games, right? Like
Yeah.
where it's like, especially if they got to play them 3 times, that's going to be a really interesting thing if that goes down.
That's definitely possible. Definitely
But
possible.
at the same time, I do think that this offense and what they're going to do is pretty amazing. I mean, it's hard not to say, like, not put Shador in that top 3,
If he stay like right, if they can block for him, bro.
dude, because they will. They'll put up crazy numbers. He will put up crazy numbers if they can block for him, because they got the wide receivers to do it, man. I mean, they really do.
Right, right. I got
So
like right. That's a good like you got like you said you got Beck and you got Milrow and you got Gabriel and then Shadur. Right there again. Shadur last year threw for about a little bit over 3,200,
mhm.
but Shadur also only they didn't have any bowl games.
Nope.
And he missed a whole game with his back and missed a
Yep.
half of another one with his back and got sacked the most out of any quarterback like 55 times. So
Yeah.
just think about if they reduce that number from 55 to like 30. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets sacked
100.
30 times, and they added LeJounte Webster from I want to say Florida Atlantic,
Yep.
who's early Bolitnikov watch list guy. They already had some other weapons, and they're not playing. To me, as a whole, the elite teams that they were playing last year. I mean, they played Washington. You know what I'm saying? They played in the conference that had Washington, Utah, Oregon. I think Big 12 has some good teams, but you know what I'm saying? Total, like top to bottom, I don't think their schedule is. I think there's more teams. I ain't gonna say they're better than Colorado top to bottom, but the gap isn't as big. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
interested
feel
to
that.
right, and so I'm interested to see what Shadur does with that. But I'm with you. I think honestly, I can see Gabriel leading the nation in passing.
Me too.
Like, like we
I'm
saw. Come
honest. I
on,
do
bro.
too. I
We
think
saw
so.
what Bo Nix did, and I feel like Bo Nix wasn't
Mhm.
even that like Dylan can't throw it far. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but
Mhm.
as far as like the intermediate game, I feel like he's head and shoulders above Bo Nix in the intermediate game as far as his accuracy. So I think we could see 4,500 from him. To be honest with you, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gabriel somehow is in New York at the end because of the offense. Like if they beat Ohio State for some reason, right?
Yeah.
Bruh, like why wouldn't Gabriel be? I just think that offense is perfect for him. I think Carson Beck will be up there.
Mhm.
This is the thing. Uh, he got the weapons on the outside, and this is why I think he'll be successful. But he may be. I think he'll be around that same number that he was at last year. Like he may break 4,000, he may not
Mhm.
because while we had good running backs last year, like I mean, if you go back and watch the film, when Kendall Milton was healthy, nobody wanted to tackle him. The
Oh
problem
yeah.
was,
He's a beast.
he had some injury issues, so he was in and out, in and out. Even Edwards for us
Yeah.
Dejan, he's in and out, in and out. This year, our running back room is like probably the deepest it's been since we had Chubb, Michelle, and Swift all together. So you could see those running backs take some of that shine to keep him from going over 4,000. Like he might be like the 3,900 guy, but it looks like God, man, this dude is always completing passes. Right, but it's like you can see that because I can see these running backs taking off. They won't be. Oscar Delp is an elite tight end. I think he'll be
Yeah.
on the Mackey. I think he'll end up being like a Mackey Award finalist. I don't know if he'll win it because I don't think he's going to have the numbers that Brock had because our wide receiver room is just so much better and deeper than it's been in a while. So I also think Jackson Dart is in there. Jackson
I want to
Dart.
say it too, man. That's why I was thinking the same thing. That was hard. It's hard to pick a top three just because of Shador and Dart.
Right, like Dart is gonna be in that Milroy category. I think rushing wise and passing wise, he's gonna be up there. And in the Lane Kiffin offense, and they get a lot of their hard games at home. They don't play Bama. They get Georgia at home. And outside of Georgia, honestly, yeah, like defensively, like I think they play Florida, but it's at the end of the season, so Florida
Mm-hmm.
may be, Florida may be kind of mentally beat down by then. You know what I'm saying? So listen,
Physically.
Jackson Dart could, man, Jackson Dart might be in New York. To be honest with you.
100. I mean, the biggest thing for him, what I think it's going to be, and I mean, the same thing goes with Colorado and Shador, is like how should for Shador, it's number one, it's offensive line, right?
Right,
Because I think
right,
he meshes well with his wide receiver. He proved that last year with what they did transfer portal wise. So for
right,
Shador, it's offensive line and how quickly, or if it's even fixed. For Dart, it comes down to just that offense really making sure they come together in that they utilize the run game to set up the pass game to be
right,
more explosive,
right,
right? Which we saw Kiffin do that. He did a really good job of that when he's calling plays at Alabama, right? Back in the day when we see him calling plays at Alabama and they're putting up the numbers that they were putting up offensively, he did a great job. Great job. I
right.
mean, he utilized that, and I could see that being very similar this season because they do have like a good running back room, right?
Right.
Yes, they lose Judkins, but at the same time, they still got what they need.
Well, they got Ulysses Bentley, who was
100.
his co-mate, and then they got
Mhm.
Logan Diggs, who
Yep.
everybody expected him to be good coming out. He went to
Mhm.
LSU, kind of got lost in the rotation. Their running back room wasn't really good total, and I think he's a change in scenery with not having to be the guy that
Yeah.
might help Logan Diggs. Marsh Jam, the Ohio State center, is the transfer from Alabama, the one that we saw with the shotgun snap problems last year.
Yeah, dude. We don't speak his name.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Benji says he's selling on Salters and Aller. I think
Yeah.
Aller is a wait and see. I think Aller has talent. I think the Penn State
Yeah.
offense hasn't been QB friendly. Let's just say that. The Fafita, yeah, Fafita, we
Dude,
mentioned him in the top 10.
so good.
I think it's a wait and see. With the new,
Mhm.
coach. The coach has a good history, but
Yeah,
it's like
Brennan.
it takes time to gel. Yeah, it takes time to gel.
Mhm.
So, but we could see some big numbers from him as well. Utah's quarterback, yes, Cam Rising. But I don't think statistically, which that was the first part of the question we was tackling. I don't think statistically Cam Rising is ever going to be like a top 5, top 10 type guy. Now, when we move over to team success, now you
Mhm.
can start talking Cam Rising. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's see what our comments. I'm having a little conversation. Okay, 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 okay. I'm
I
gonna let
like
y'all
it.
do that. Right, right. I absolutely loathe anything Jayhawks, but I can see KU quarterback having quite a year. Statistically, he's got tremendous skills. He does, and he's actually one of the best passers on one of these lists.
Mhm.
We just haven't seen him be healthy the whole year. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Shadur missed a game, but
Mhm.
Shadur got hit way more than he did and
Yep.
only missed a game and a half. This dude missed like like 4 or 5 games last year or something like
Yeah.
that. So,
With
uh,
Daniels, it's how he scrambles. Like the way
right.
he gets outside the pocket and he starts to run, and he just doesn't protect himself. Because I mean, he's trying to get every inch, right? He's trying to get every single yard he can, which I love it, man. Like get after it for sure. But at the same time, like you're really important to your team. They need you. That's how they win games. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
Kansas can be, to be honest with you, Kansas and I know we've talked about this before talking about Big 12 stuff, but Kansas could be really good
Mm-hmm.
if he stays healthy. Like they
Right.
could be really good. And Lance Leipold is an amazing coach. I mean, you just look at his history as well. It's that's another thing that we haven't jumped into is these coaches coming from like FCS and like
Right.
Division 3,
And then
right?
coming up to Division 1 to the
And
big
being
boys
successful.
and being successful. Yeah, right, right. Gabriel is a lot like Tua in college for real. Listen, I can see the similarities size
Mhm.
wise and everything. I give the edge to Tua in the deep ball though. But yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
For
Bowers is gone to the NFL. That's right. Like I say, Oscar Delp is in that same mode. Nobody's brought Bowers, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you
mhm.
that he is. But and then people like we got Delp, but we also got Ben Urich, who was Stanford's guy. Like he was the guy. Like I mean, I think that's another reason why I think neither one of them would win the Mackey Award because it's both of them. I think Ben Urich was a great pickup for us, and then we got the talented rising sophomore Lawson Lucky. I just
Yep.
don't think the tight end because when you have a Brock Bowers, that's what people are like. Oh, y'all don't throw to the receivers. If you got Brock Bowers on your team, why wouldn't you look for the dude all the time? You know what I'm saying? So
100, man.
but I
Like,
tell people Brock didn't play in 3 games last year, so you know what I'm saying. It ain't like Carson had games where he doesn't know how to throw to Brock. You know what I'm saying.
100.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Mhm.
I think that's a good call. Like I say, he's going to the NFL. We're just gonna see. I think you're gonna see more in the passing game. You're gonna see like a Dominic Everett Levitt, and then also, Kobe Young, he won't start for Georgia
Mhm.
initially, but I think as he learns the offense, he'll come on. Dudes like 6'4.5", jump ball. Like we were missing the consistent 50-50 guy jump ball in the red zone. Like Dylan Bell was able to do that, but Dylan Bell's only 6 foot. So Carson,
Yeah.
it was a combination of Dylan making some great plays and Carson putting the ball in the right spot. But Kobe gives you that room for error. Right,
Mhm.
he's that room for
Mhm.
error wide receiver where you can kind of just toss it up and
Yeah.
like hope for the best. So it's interesting to see that. Um, Now, as far as team success,
Yeah.
who might have the best year? Team success, and you're talking about a top quarterback. Then you have to look at everybody, the weapons, and
Mhm.
like now you start talking Milrow, you know, Carson Beck still. I
Yep.
think Gabriel,
I'll be honest, I feel the same way, man.
but
Like I really do about Oregon this season.
I think Will Howard could be in that mix because of the team success. Now you start talking Cam Rising. I think Cam Rising in
Mhm.
Utah for sure should be one of the favorites, along with like K State. And in my mind, Oklahoma State is one of those guys as well as far as the conference championship. And of course, if you win your conference this year, you make it
Yep.
to the playoffs. ACC wise, Cam Ward, if Miami can get it together, should have some success. We saw what he did with lesser weapons
Mhm.
and a lesser team.
It's true.
Brady Cook, Missouri's
Yes.
got an easy schedule.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If their running back that they got out of the portal can replace the what Cody Schrader did,
Mhm.
team success wise, I think it's a little bit wide open. Like individually, it's like I say, it's hard. Like I just think Dylan Gabriel gonna have, like I say, Bo Nix type numbers and
That's a man spot on with that. I mean, like for sure, Dylan. This offense is kind of made for a quarterback like him.
right,
Um, I, he's going to put up good numbers. I mean, the wide receiver room looks really good.
right,
The offensive line looks really good. Their running back room looks good. He's going to be. I think Oregon's kind of like one of those teams to watch this season for Big Ten.
right.
Yeah, I think you have a dark horse in Washington. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Jed
think
Fish coming in.
Jed Fish, I mean, what they're going to be able to produce offensive line wise, they still have pieces in place from the coaching staff. Their wide receiver room did have depth. We just did not see a ton of it because of your main players within the last two years under Kalen DeBoer, but they still had depth. They had some really good young guys.
Right,
That running back room got like super deep. So that's going to be
right,
a big deal for them because they got two quarterbacks that could start technically at Washington. Same thing
right,
with Oregon, though. I think Oregon has that upper hand from a standpoint that they have more continuity, right? They didn't have to reach out in the portal as much.
mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this is Dan Lanning, third year. Okay. Third year, Dan Lanning. I think he's going to have some things in place that really put together. I think the defense is going to have some bulk to it. That's been the biggest thing for them, defensive line wise. So I'll tell you, Oregon's like that team. But I guess what I am not the other team I'm not going to rule out, Coach I, is USC. I'm going to drop a video about that today.
Offensively, we already know, regardless of what he does on defense, their offense is going to be rolling. Miller Moss
Mm-hmm.
made the top 25 for Brad Crawford at 247. He was number 25 We only got to see him one game,
Yep.
but he looked really good in that one game.
He looked really good.
Right, and he's playing in Lincoln Riley's offense, right? Lincoln Riley is one of the better offensive minds in the game, if not, top. I don't know, like if he was somebody's OC, whoever that team is would be definitely, what I'm saying, considered one of the better teams. Five Adams says Washington's head coach is better than Dan Lanning. Jetfish.
I don't think so.
I think he was. I would say this for Jetfish. He worked with, when he was at Arizona, he worked with way less, in the cupboard than Dan Lanning had.
Holy smokes, yeah.
At Oregon. So from that aspect, I can see where you're coming from. He also says Florida. If he was Florida, he would hire Kansas's Lance Leipold. Listen, listen. I don't think he's leaving. Like, it's Kansas, but. I just sometimes you got I don't know about his ego and his want to prove it and on the bigger stage, but he's got a good thing going and lower expectations for sure. I don't know if there's a higher expectation job outside of Gainesville, to be honest with you. Like the Florida Nation, the Gator Nation is you can talk to any of them, dog. Like that's why it's so Urban Meyer said it, Steve Spurrier said it. It's
a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. So. I don't know. It says here, does Washington have an offensive-minded coach like they had? I think Jetfish is an offensive-minded coach. I think he's not like Kalen DeBoer offensive.
No, but they have also Brandon Carroll.
Right. So
Brandon's pretty good.
Right. So this is the last question. And I want the commenters to get in on this. So we're talking top college football quarterbacks according to Brad Crawford on 247. DJ Uiagalelei made it in at 22. Do you think DJU is a top 25 quarterback in college football, Jake? And I want the commenters to get in on this as well. Like taking in everything into consideration, however you want to quantify it. Do you think he's a top 25 quarterback?
I think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's no doubt DJ is a top quarterback. He's a winner, right? From a standpoint of what he's done. He still had success at Clemson. He did the best he could at Oregon State. That's another tough place,
right?
To play. I don't know where, because if you watch him in high school, right? He looked really good coming out of. I think he was over at IMG, and
he came out of St. Bosco's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
right. Because him and JT Daniels had battles. Because Daniels is at Modern Day.
That's right. And then he's also on that QB1 show. I forgot who did he play behind at St. John's.
Man, this St. Bosco's. He played behind a 5 stars.
Well, I know, but there's somebody on that show who was big, man, who ended up not panning out. It wasn't Fromm, because Fromm was playing in Georgia.
Oh, I think the guy went to he ended up going to Wake Forest, but I don't know if he ever took a snap at Wake Forest. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
He wasn't physically imposing.
Yes.
But he could throw the ball really good. He ended up going to Wake Forest, and then DJU took over. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, is he looks is from out of high school and then coming over to Clemson I see some of the comments in here. He did look really good filling in for Trevor Lawrence. I just don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him after that. If it was mental blockage, if it was the change up in coaching, but it just seemed like these things didn't continue to progress higher and higher. I really do think he's a good quarterback, but I feel like something along the way, got in the way. You know what I'm saying? You just see it in his body language and kind of what happened as you watch him at Clemson and even at Oregon State.
Yeah.
You're right, Antoine. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Jamarcus Russell a little bit, man. He kind of just you're what is going on here?
Right. Five Adams says no. Jimmy Lee, what's good, Jimmy Lee? Jimmy Lee says no. He says no. Let's see. Five Adams say he couldn't win with Dabo, right? Let's see. Top 25. B&G says he's pretty sure only because he can't think of 25 QBs that have the experience he has. That counts for something when you're talking about top 25. Moonrocker says the same thing. He has to be based off of experience at this point because he's going for
Yeah.
his what is this, his fifth year. So even semi bad experience, right, Moonrocker. He looked terrific filling in for Trevor in his freshman season. Never seen a quarterback spiral. One thing I want to say about that is when he came in originally for Trevor Lawrence, nobody had film on him, so it's easier to look good. Like again, like think back to now he's for sure no Tua for sure, but when Tua first comes in the SEC, I mean the national championship or whatever for Georgia against Georgia and Alabama, like we wasn't prepared for Tua. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We wasn't
100.
prepared for Tua, and
Yeah.
we prepared for Jalen because
Mhm.
Jalen was killing everybody with his legs all year.
Yep.
The combination of his legs and arm, and then we shut him down, and then we bring just out of nowhere we get this dude that's been taking like 10% of the snaps all year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think some of that played a part. And one of those teams was Boston College, by the way. No knock on Boston College, but it was Boston College. Now
I
he did
got
have
you.
a good game at Notre Dame. I will say the weapons around him haven't been the best. Didn't have a lot of experience at wide receiver when he took over the starting role. He had it for 2 years. Kind of looked mediocre. I would say I thought his problem was the
That's a good
intermediate
question.
game. And then he goes to Oregon State. Not a lot of experience at wide receiver out there. So
Mm.
I think it's a wait and see. I think it's he could be top 25 for me. I don't know. I'm experienced, yes.
Mhm.
But like top 25,
Gosh,
we'll
I
see.
don't even who'd you
We'll see.
replace him with? You know what I'm saying? Like I would have to go
What?
through and look at.
So let's say this though. Okay, so Nico Iamaleava from Tennessee makes 24.
Yeah.
Because of the experience, I guess you put DJU ahead of him. But I think right now, if I told you had a team for 2024, I'm not even going to tell you who the weapons are. You telling me you take DJU over Nico?
Oh, would I take him over Nico? No.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So Nico's ranked higher than him.
Yeah.
I mean, this will make this will make our guy happy. I mean, honestly, right now, I'd take Jackson Arnold over DJU. I'm just being like a 100.
Jackson Arnold? Oh,
Yeah,
completely. I would. Yeah. Oh,
but
wait.
Jackson
Did
didn't
he
even
not
make the
make
list though.
he didn't even make the top 25?
No, that's what I'm saying. So
See, I don't see that's kind of crazy, man. Like that,
right,
I don't
right,
know, dude. Jackson Arnold's way look. Do you look at that bowl game? Like number one, what they were playing against, that team was like ready to play. That team could have played anybody and done well. Like they were in a groove. Maybe they would have, not quite as, necessarily like Georgia,
right.
So um there's there's Jason in there. But hey, this is a good question by Antoine right here. Who would you rather have, Peyton Thorne or DJU? I would
I
take
I
DJU.
I take DJU.
Yep.
Peyton Thorne's the better athlete, but I'm taking DJU because Peyton Thorne's now. I don't know what's been going on in the offseason, but I can tell you based off of 2024, they do throwing the ball. It's terrible. Uh, Jake, you're not taking super chats.
Nah, man. I got to hit
Uh,
500. I have to hit 500
Right. So
subscribers.
y'all
And
got to get over there and subscribe to the channel, man. Get my man to
please help me
500,
out.
man.
Help me out.
Right.
Thanks,
Kentucky's
man.
quarterback is, I don't know about that one, Five Adam. I'm a Georgia fan, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'd take GG over Brock Vandegrift. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be
Louisville's
interesting.
quarterback, yeah, I would say that
You-
Tyler Shuck or
Oh,
whatever.
yes. Yes,
Right.
gosh, you guys are hitting it on the head today. I'm like I said, it's morning time. I had to get up real early here because I'm on the West Coast, everybody. So,
Right.
but let me tell you this too: is I do think you made a really good point with Graham Mertz. Yes, that was it.
This
That
one,
that
for
is
sure.
somebody
For
definitely
sure.
missing that top 25. Dude had a
Right.
phenomenal season.
Right, for sure. I'm definitely taking him over DJU. I'm not, again, I think DJU could play itself into the top 25, but if I'm basing it off, like, I'm going into 2024 and I'm looking at these quarterbacks that didn't make it, like I said, like the Jackson Arnolds, like the Graham Mertz, I'm taking these guys over DJU to be like in 2024. But again, he could prove me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but top
Mhm.
25, I think for me it's questionable. You know what I'm saying? My boy CA in the building, respect the hedges. He said anybody over DJU, man.
Anybody. It's tough, like, man, because
CA tough out the gates on
dude,
DJU.
I mean, and I don't blame a lot of people, but you almost have to ask yourself in the craziest way, and this is not dogging on DJ, but it almost seems like there was no sense of urgency with him and the way he went about things, right?
Right.
I just didn't feel that from a standpoint of like his game. Like he
Right.
just wasn't, and that some people say, oh, he's just poised or he just keeps it cool. Okay, but like, he almost came across like lazy. And
Right.
so and I hate saying that about anybody because I don't think that's necessarily the case. But
Right.
when you portray that, right, and that's maybe what you get across, then maybe your players are not playing the guys around you necessarily level. We'll get to see that though. I think this season at Florida State, I think Norvell should bring out the
Right.
best in him. I really
This is
do.
a great comment about Bishop. I always talk about the synchronicity, the
Mm,
gelling together. Quarterback and O line have to be in step, and this is his third O line. Like
100, man.
third O line, third blocking scheme concepts, maybe being different. So you know what I'm saying. So
Hmm, hmm.
I just listen. I think and then Florida State again, another situation where he doesn't have. Now he has talent at receiver, he just doesn't have any experience at receiver. So, UF fans won't lag. Wait, listen, man. People always want the shiny new toy, dog. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I can guarantee he's probably got. He definitely. I wouldn't argue with you. He's got the better upside. But for 2024, right now, there's no way he read defenses like Graham Mertz. There's no way. Not on a college level. But I get what you're saying, Benji. Florida fans do want Lagway.
Hmm.
And again, shiny new toy. You know what I'm saying? It's like
100.
that's how it is. It's always the shiny new toy. So let's see. The DJU strays are egregious. What we were talking about, I don't know about strays. We're not taking no strays, dog. We're talking directly about DJU. Like I say, I think he's a good quarterback, but
Hmm.
there's some people that, let's just say this. I'm not saying he ain't top 25, but there's at least 3 to 4 guys I would put in the top 25 that
Yeah.
didn't make Brad Crawford's top 25, Jackson Arnold being one of them, that I would take over DJU. And
Hmm.
that's just what I'm saying.
Well,
So,
I will say what one I like, man, is Byram Brown by USF.
he made 21. He made
Yes.
21.
I
He
saw
made
so I
21.
saw that, and I'm gonna tell you what,
Mm-hmm.
I do think like USF has they got some sauce over there right now. They got some little secret sauce going on because
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some good, interesting like games to watch with
Right.
USF. I mean, I think I'll be honest with you, I think Bama's gonna kick their ass after last season. Like they're pissed off, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
They almost
they're
got
gonna want
y'all,
to kick
Jake.
their ass right after that. But but I do think USF though, in general, I think they're pretty tough. And I think their coaches have done a great job. And Byron Brown, like everyone's been saying, man, that guy throws the ball, and once he gets that under wraps, which obviously he has now, he could be really dangerous. So be fun to
Right.
watch with USF. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't get talked about as much as maybe they should have for how tough they played. So
So Arkansas got transfer Talon. I want to say it's Talon Green, if I'm not mistaken. It might be, but from Boise State.
mhm.
He didn't make the top 25. You take him over DJ?
Oh, do I take him from
Wait,
Boise
would
State?
like so he's at Arkansas now. I'm just saying, like, would you
He
take
came from
him?
Boise State, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
watched
Would
him
you take?
play last season in
Listen,
life. I
got right. Like he
think he's
got some.
good, dude.
Would you take him over DJ? He didn't make the top 25 though.
See,
That's a tough
I
one. That's a
I'm going to be
tough
honest
one.
with you. I agree. I I like DJ a lot. I like DJ a lot. I just need to see better mechanics. I need to see better, like more.
Jason says tread lightly,
I
Jake.
just need, man, look, I just want to see him be the quarterback that I thought he was going to be. He hasn't achieved that, and so yes, I would take that guy
Bruh,
over
because
him.
especially like in the run game, like DJ could be better, but DJ's not a run first quarterback. People don't understand that.
Which
They see the size and they say, oh, but DJ wants to throw the ball. That's what he wants to do.
when he
You know what I'm
runs,
saying?
man, like dude, he can try. I mean, he moves the pile. He's a big dude, you know.
Right, Pig Suey, man. Listen, CA done came in here and started something. That's right, man. He said anybody but DJU, man. So,
Mm,
hey, man, on that note, man, we've been in here an hour and a half. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, man.
yeah.
The Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I and Jake, man. Listen, this is the thing right here, man. Me and Jake, man. Jake will be
Hmm.
on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's
So,
right. Saturday nights too now.
right, Saturday night Snap County is a part of
Hmm.
that as well. Y'all make sure y'all get over to Set the Tone College Football. YouTube changed their parameters to take super chats. If y'all can get Jake to 500,
Let's
he
do it.
can take those super chats. Neilio, so y'all make sure y'all get over to Set the Tone College Football and get with my man Jake. Man, he got some good content coming out there. Good
Hmm.
collabs, whether it be with me or with Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. So y'all make sure y'all get over to Set the Tone so he can start taking those super chats.
Yeah, please
You know what I'm
do,
saying?
guys.
Right, right, right. So, hey, and before we get out of here, man, if you're planning on going to any of those games this year, go to SeatGeek. Promo code Fanatic Sports. You get $20 off your first purchase. So if you're gonna buy the ticket, you might as well save a little money while you do it, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Listen, man, the comments, as always, dog, on fire, man, on
Hmm.
both channels, man. Set the Tone and on Fanatic, man. Shout out to Nidio and Bishop, both of our Fanatic Sports members of the month. Shout out to Ben G, Chicken, Mars, all Jason, Shelby, all members. Shout out to Moon Rocker. Shout out to Ryman. Shout out to Five Adam. Five Adam was active. We like it. He was
Love it,
active
man.
today. Shout out to Shawty, man. Antoine Curitan. Shout out to Jimmy Lee for checking in with us, man. Of course. Who else? Who
We
else?
had we
Who
had
else?
Moon, we had Miss
Yeah, yeah,
Janet,
yeah.
we had
Yeah,
Ebony.
Janet, that's who I was looking. Janet and Ebony, appreciate y'all locking in with us this morning early.
Hmm.
My guy Ben Shaw, CA, my boy Corey Allen getting in here.
Mike G, Mike G.
Mike G was in the building, right? He said I meant to say this. He said, "Oh, Ohio State's 2-14 against the SEC in bowl games."
I like
Uh,
that's a good stat, dude. That's a good. Hey, that's. I'll tell you what though, Ebony when she's in here, Ebony, that's her team, man. She's Ohio State, but I mean she
right,
obviously loves Bama because that's where Noah's playing. But
right.
man, she loves Ohio State. Ohio State's her team, so she'll get after you and talk shit about Ohio State. So don't do that.
Right, right, right. Ticket prices are coming down. Go ahead and add that $20 off of those lower ticket prices, man. Fanatic code Fanatic Sports, all one word, and you get that, man. Again, man. Everybody on Facebook, both
Hmm.
channels on YouTube. We appreciate you.
100.
For Jake, man, I'm Coach I. It's the Breakfast Tailgate. We are out of here.